Have you ever messed up? I mean, really messed up? Dropped the ball, missed the mark, face planted in front of everyone? If you're human, the answer is a resounding yes. Yet, for some reason, we live in a culture that treats failure like a dirty secret, something to be ashamed of and hidden away. Well, I'm here today to say, enough is enough. It's time we talk about failure, normalize it, and maybe, just maybe, start celebrating it. Think about the stories we love. The underdog who rises from the ashes, the inventor who had 1,000 failed prototypes before the one that worked, the entrepreneur who went bankrupt twice before building a billion-dollar empire. We admire their resilience, their grit, their final success. But we often gloss over the most important part of their journey, the failures. Those weren't just unfortunate bumps in the road. They were the very steps they climbed to get to the top. Each stumble was a lesson. Each mistake was a masterclass. So why are we so terrified of it ourselves? It starts early, doesn't it? In school, you get a red F on a test, and it feels like a brand, a permanent mark of your inadequacy. In our first jobs, a mistake can feel like a career-ending catastrophe. We scroll through social media and see everyone's highlight reels, the perfect vacations, the promotions, the flawless families. It's easy to look at that and think, wow, everyone else has it all figured out. What's wrong with me? Here's the truth. Nothing is wrong with you. The highlight reel is a lie. Behind every success story is a blooper reel a mile long, filled with awkward moments, bad decisions, and outright failures. The problem isn't that we fail. The problem is that we've attached so much shame and stigma to it. We've created a culture where the fear of failing is so paralyzing that it often stops us from even trying. What if we change the narrative? What if, instead of asking, "What if I fail?" we started asking, "What can I learn when I fail?" Because that's where the magic happens. Failure is data. It's feedback. It's the universe giving you a giant, blinking arrow pointing you in a new direction. When you try something and it doesn't work, you've just discovered one way not to do it. That's not a loss. That's valuable information. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He didn't see his attempts as failures. He saw them as steps in the process of elimination, each one bringing him closer to the solution. Let's apply this to our own lives. Say you want to learn a new skill, like playing the guitar. Your fingers are going to hurt. You're going to hit the wrong notes. You'll probably sound like a dying cat for the first few weeks. If you see every wrong chord as a failure, you'll quit. But if you see it as part of the learning process, as your fingers building muscle memory, you'll stick with it. One day, you'll play a song, and it will be because of all those failures, not in spite of them. This mindset is crucial in our careers, too. The most innovative companies in the world don't punish failure. They encourage intelligent risk-taking. They know that if their teams aren't failing occasionally, it means they're not pushing the boundaries. They're not trying anything new. They create environments where people feel safe to experiment, to pitch a wild idea that might not work, because that's where breakthroughs come from. For every successful product, there were dozens of ideas that ended up in the trash can. But they weren't wasted efforts. They were part of the creative process. So, how do we start normalizing failure in our own lives? First, we need to talk about it, openly and honestly. Share your stories of when things went wrong. When I started this channel, my first few videos were, well, let's just say they weren't great. The lighting was bad, the audio was sketchy, and I was visibly nervous. I could have seen that as a failure and given up. Instead, I saw it as my first draft. I learned what not to do. I got feedback, I tweaked things, and I kept going. Every video was a lesson. Sharing these stories removes the shame and shows others that it's a normal, universal part of the human experience. Second, reframe your definition of failure. A true failure isn't messing up. A true failure is not trying at all because you're scared. It's letting the fear of judgment keep you stuck. When you try something and it doesn't go as planned, it's not a failure. It's a plot twist. It's an experiment with an unexpected result. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? What will I do differently next time? This simple shift in perspective turns a painful experience into a powerful tool for growth. Third, practice self-compassion. When you do fail, and you will, be kind to yourself. You wouldn't berate a friend for making a mistake, so why are you so hard on yourself? Acknowledge the disappointment, feel the frustration, but don't let it define you. Treat it as a learning moment. Dust yourself off and remember that your worth is not determined by your successes or your failures. Your worth is inherent. You are worthy simply because you are you. Think of a toddler learning to walk. They fall down hundreds of times. They stumble, they wobble, they collapse in a heap. Do we yell at them? Do we call them a failure? Of course not. We cheer them on. We encourage them to get up and try again. We know that every fall is a necessary part of learning to walk. Why do we stop giving ourselves that same grace as adults? We've just forgotten that we are all still learning. Learning to be better partners, better professionals, better people. And we are going to fall down along the way. Let's make a pact. Let's start a movement of celebrating the effort, not just the outcome. Let's create a community where we can share our oops moments without fear. Let's be the people who, when a friend says, "I messed up," our first response is, "That's awesome. What did you learn?" Let's be the generation that teaches our kids that it's okay to get a C on the way to getting an A. That trying and falling short is 1,000,000 times more admirable than never trying at all. Your failures do not define you. Your resilience does. Your courage to get back up does. Your willingness to learn and grow does. The next time you're facing a challenge and that voice of fear whispers, "But what if you fail?" I want you to answer back, loud and clear. "So what if I do?" It will be the best lesson I ever learn. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this message resonated with you, please hit that like button and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more conversations that matter. Let's keep learning and growing together. See you in the next video.